So I'm going to be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16.
From billion-dollar betrayals to courtroom scandals that shook entire empires, these are the wildest truths they never wanted you to know. Packed with shocking numbers, jaw-dropping stories, and untold secrets, you'll be left stunned. And wait until you hear the last entry. In 1994, while Sean Diddy Combs was already reshaping hip-hop into a billion-dollar empire, a boy named Justin Bieber was born in Stratford, Ontario. That same year, Usher Raymond moved into Diddy's New York home, a place he later described as Puffy Flavor Camp. Decades later, Usher confessed he'd never send his own children there. Why? What really happened behind those walls? Fast forward to 2007, Scooter Braun stumbled upon a 13-year-old Bieber singing on YouTube. Within months, Usher and Braun formed RBMG Records and signed him. A kid from small-town Canada was suddenly part of an elite circle built on money, fame, and hidden power. But how quickly did that connection shift from mentorship to something darker? In 2009, Bieber tweeted at Diddy. To the shock of fans, Diddy replied almost instantly, inviting the teenager into his world. Bieber visited Diddy's home at just 15 years old. On camera, Diddy promised him a Lamborghini when he turned 16 and a mansion at 18. He even declared that Bieber would spend 48 hours with him, no breaks, no limits. That video, uploaded in November 2009 but filmed on Halloween night, resurfaced in 2024 during Diddy's trial. On that same day, Bieber had a radio event, a modeling shoot, and went trick-or-treating with friends. Diddy, strangely, appeared in none of the photos. The next day, Bieber canceled a show due to illness. Fans later asked, was the 48 hours continuous or spliced together to sell an image? Even back then, something felt off. Diddy described it as a 15-year-old's dream, yet to others it sounded like control. Bieber seemed proud in those early years, admiring Diddy like an older brother. But as time passed, the cracks in their friendship widened, and what happened next would make those cracks impossible to ignore.
This is why you need to hear about Bieber and Diddy's bizarre 48 hours. The truth might send shivers down your spine. In 2009, a 15-year-old Justin Bieber was on the rise, and P. Diddy, a music mogul, decided to take him under his wing. But what exactly happened during their infamous 48 hours together? A resurfaced video shows Diddy planning 2 days of fun for Bieber. Innocent, right? Fast forward to 2024, and Diddy's now facing federal scrutiny for serious allegations. That old footage? Suddenly it's raising a lot more eyebrows. Was it all just carefree mentorship, or was there something darker lurking beneath the surface? With ongoing investigations and new details emerging, the truth might be more shocking than we ever imagined. Want to stay updated on this unfolding story? Subscribe and hit the bell for the latest updates.
From the very beginning, the cameras were rolling, but the clues were hiding in plain sight. Back in 2010, a video surfaced that showed Justin Bieber literally dodging Diddy's calls. In the clip, Bieber laughed it off and even handed Diddy a fake 555 number. At the time, it seemed harmless, but years later, fans would see it differently as Bieber's first attempt to distance himself. Except, 3 facts don't add up. If Bieber really wanted to avoid Diddy, why film the video in the first place? Why give any number, even a fake one, on camera? And why just weeks later were the two still spotted together? By 2011, the tone shifted. In a Jimmy Kimmel interview, Diddy half-joked that Bieber knows better than to reveal what they did together. The room laughed, but viewers caught something darker secrecy hiding in plain sight.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, he could buy you one also while you're out.
Got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Everything ain't for everybody.
Then came 2014. Bieber was arrested for drag racing and DUI. Instead of distancing himself, Diddy publicly defended him. But only weeks later, Bieber was spotted at a wild Atlanta party hosted by Diddy, surrounded by stars like Rick Ross and T.I., even though Bieber was still underage. And the pattern didn't stop. In 2015, Bieber showed up at Justin Combs' 21st birthday. A year later, at Bieber's own 21st, Diddy handed him a tequila shot, proudly declaring it Bieber's first drink ever. Cameras captured the moment, but behind the smiles, many wondered about the power dynamics at play. By 2016, Bieber was gifted a legendary Bad Boy Records jacket, a symbol of mentorship, loyalty, and belonging. To the public, it looked like bonding, but privately, whispers grew louder. Was this really mentorship, or something else entirely? Fast forward to 2020. Bieber broke down, crying in an Apple Music interview. He said he wanted to protect Billie Eilish from going through what he went through. He never mentioned Diddy, but the internet connected the dots. Fans began asking, what exactly happened to Bieber as a teen? That same year, Bieber was hit with a public accusation of assault. He denied it, launched a defamation lawsuit, and later dropped it. The scars of his past were becoming harder to hide. In 2021, things got even stranger. On camera, Diddy awkwardly asked Bieber if he was wearing a wire. It seemed like a joke, but conspiracy theories exploded online. By 2023, the two finally collaborated musically. Bieber appeared on Diddy's Love album. It looked like reconciliation, maybe even closure. But just months later, Diddy was indicted, and suddenly, all those old clips, the parties, the jokes, the awkward silences, they didn't look innocent anymore. They looked chilling. By 2024, Sean Diddy Combs wasn't just fighting rumors, he was battling serious charges of abuse and trafficking.
When the verdict was read after the judge was off the bench, he turned around, dropped to his knees, had his hands clasped like this, praying on the chair. And then once he stood up, his entire family started applauding wildly. There was whistling, there was cheering. He can't go up to them, remember?
Right.
He's still in custody. So he shook a couple of his attorney's hands. You know, what's interesting about this verdict, we never know what a jury's going to decide.
Yep.
But in talking with legal experts throughout this trial, throughout this process, you know, you check in periodically. And right after closing arguments, I had spoken with one attorney, and he still thought the RICO charge was up in the air. The only thing legal analysts thought that was proved for certain, proved beyond a reasonable doubt, was the prostitution charge. And that's definitely what the jury agreed with.
What began with Cassie Ventura's explosive lawsuit triggered a domino effect across Hollywood. Soon, more than 100 alleged victims came forward, each story darker than the last. The shockwaves forced the public to revisit old Justin Bieber clips, interviews, and photos.
Tony Busby says his office has received almost 3,300 calls from people who say they are victims of Sean Diddy Combs. He says they've had to turn some of those people away, but they're working to vet the stories of the others. So far, they have accepted 120 clients. He says a few of them are from Houston. Busby says these alleged crimes happened over the last 25 years, with most happening since 2015 at parties or auditions or in the studio. He says they've received pictures, videos, and texts related to the alleged assaults to corroborate the stories of the clients they have accepted so far. Just about half of the alleged victims have told Busby that they either reported what happened to the police or at a hospital. He says based on medical records, many of them had a drug in their system that's used to tranquilize horses.
Suddenly, every smile and casual moment was re-examined with suspicion. Whispers grew louder. Would Bieber testify? When a fake TikTok announcement claimed Bieber would take the stand, it went viral, racking up millions of views. Fans dismissed it as clickbait until the impossible happened. Bieber walked into court, and the world held its breath. The atmosphere inside was electric, heavy, almost suffocating. Reporters leaned in, sensing history in the making. Bieber, calm but visibly serious, raised his hand, swore the oath, and silence swallowed the room. His voice steady, Bieber began to recount memories filled with fear, manipulation, and unshakable pressure. Gasps echoed as pens scratched furiously across notepads. He described moments where he felt trapped, confessing with raw emotion. This wasn't mentorship, it was control. The judge's face tightened. Jurors leaned back in disbelief, some forward in shock, while the world outside exploded online. Hashtags like hashtag Bieber testifies and hashtag Diddy trial trended worldwide. Clips leaked instantly, and millions rewatched every second of Bieber's words in real time. Then came the eruption. Diddy slammed his hand on the table, muttering under his breath while glaring at Bieber. His lawyer's objection was shut down by the judge, but the damage was done. Bieber pressed on, even through tears, refusing to be silenced. He painted a picture not of a mentor, but of a sinister figure who had manipulated his life. By the time he finished, the courtroom would never be the same. The fallout hit like an earthquake. Diddy's empire collapsed in real time, and the music industry watched in disbelief. Sponsors and allies began distancing themselves, cutting ties as fast as possible, while former friends stopped defending him. A silence louder than words. Meanwhile, old videos of Diddy and Bieber resurfaced, going viral overnight. Fans debated endlessly. Was Bieber groomed, or was there more to the story? The most haunting reminder came when Cassie's video of being beaten by Diddy resurfaced, sparking outrage and fueling other victims to come forward. Lawsuits poured in, one after another, tightening the noose. TMZ tried to clarify, reporting that Bieber mostly hung out with Diddy's sons, and that many appearances were purely performative. But the public wasn't buying it. Clips from the past looked sinister now. Footage from the 2015 AMAs showed Diddy hugging Bieber. Fans replayed it endlessly. Bieber's 2020 Apple Music tears suddenly carried new meaning, now interpreted as a silent cry for help. By 2021, even a simple chest pat from Diddy was reinterpreted as if he were checking for a wire. TikTok exploded with conspiracy theories, each more chilling than the last. And then, Stephen Baldwin poured gasoline on the fire with his cryptic post, "The calm before the storm."
I've heard the expression, the calm before the storm. There is always a calm before the storm, but then so is there another calm after the storm.
Fans immediately speculated he was pointing at Bieber's long silence. Behind closed doors, Hollywood insiders whispered about Diddy's notorious freak-off parties, where celebrities allegedly witnessed disturbing behavior. Suddenly, parallels to Harvey Weinstein's downfall were unavoidable. The question echoed everywhere. Who knew and when? Even Bieber's past was under the microscope. His rebellious years, his public breakdowns, and even his health struggles were re-examined as signs of deep industry trauma. Analysts asked, was Bieber covering for others, or finally breaking free of silence? Of course, Diddy's defense team pushed back hard. They insisted Bieber's testimony was influenced, not genuine. But by then, it didn't matter. The damage was done. Diddy's image was shattered, and Hollywood turned its back forever. By July 2025, the world watched history unfold. Sean Diddy Combs was officially convicted 2 federal counts under the Mann Act. Each carried a maximum sentence of 10 years. He had escaped the heavier racketeering charges, but the damage was already irreversible. The courtroom had become a global stage. His brand was in ashes, his empire collapsed, and his once loyal circle scattered. Bad Boy Records, the label that defined an era, was finished. The headlines called it the fall of Puff. But one man stood at the center of this trial's narrative, Justin Bieber. His testimony shook the industry. Some called him brave. Others asked why he had stayed silent for so many years. It echoed Corey Feldman's crusade to expose Hollywood's darkest secrets. Bieber's words were replayed endlessly online. Every sentence, every hesitation was analyzed. Fans debated whether his past songs hinted at Diddy, though Bieber never confirmed it. But in the court of public opinion, the verdict had already been delivered. The trial was no longer just about crimes, it became the mogul versus. The kid the world saw an empire crumble, while a pop star finally broke his silence. Sympathy shifted. Bieber embraced fatherhood, peace, and distance from drama. Diddy's legacy shattered beyond repair, and as whispers grew of more names, bigger scandals, and hidden truths yet to surface, the question remained. Was this truly the end of the story, or just the beginning of an even darker unraveling?